Hey everybody, I'm here with a quick story on Kenya Moore and Marc Daly, her ex-husband. Kenya Moore got, seated, benched, so to speak, from Roa mid-season because of some antics she did on the show. And Bravo, Truly Entertainment, the people over there at the Housewives said, no, you went too far. So they benched her. Some say fired, fired, benched her, put her on timeout. Either way, she didn't finish Sweet 16 season Aurora because of her actions. So she lost that paycheck. Even though Kenya Moore wants to claim she's still getting paid, I never seen nobody not working get paid, but whatever. That's what Kenya is saying. She's still getting paid. Well, in the meantime, over there in Brooklyn, her ex-husband, Marc Daly, getting kicked out of his apartment, closed his restaurant, but he still owes back pay to the rental space for said restaurant. So Kenya don't have a job, and now her ex-husband seems to owe everybody all of this money. Let's go ahead and share screen so we can get more into this story. So Roa's Kenya Moore's ex-husband Marc Daly sued for eviction, alleged six-figure debt. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Kenya Moore's ex-husband Marc Daly is facing serious legal issues, including eviction from his New York apartment. In Touch can exclusively report. Now, if y'all see Marc Daly out there in Atlanta, staying with Kenya Moore in Moore Manor, you know why. According to the court documents obtained by In Touch, Marc was sued by the landlord of his Brooklyn apartment building on October 25th, 2024. The landlord claimed Marc signed a lease extension in February 2024, and his lease was scheduled to end in June 2025. Apartments in the building run from $3,424 for a studio to $6,485 for a two-bedroom. In Jersey, for sure, and I'm not just talking any house, you could get a nice house that'll have a mortgage of $3,400 or $6,500. You could get a nice house with a mortgage that is less than that. Why would someone rent at those prices? Is insanity. Marc was paying $4,920.82 per month in rent. The landlord said he failed to pay rent for August and September. They claimed he owed a total of $9,341 at the time the lawsuit was filed. So, when you have a rent that is that high, first of all, there's probably not too many people in the world that you can call and say, listen, can you help me out? I don't have my rent this month. They're going to say, how much you need? $500,000? No, $5,000? No, bro, I can't help you. I'm behind in rent. Now I owe $10,000. Who can help you with that? A judgment of possession was entered in the case on February 19, 2025. On top of the eviction lawsuit, Marc is fighting a lawsuit brought by a separate landlord over alleged unpaid rent on another property. Back in July 2024, a landlord named 507 Myrtle LLC sued Marc alongside another LLC, and Marc was listed as the owner and guarantor of the two LLCs. The landlord said the lawsuit was being brought to recover payment under two retail leases signed by the defendants. The landlord said the defendants had defaulted on the leases for two retail space in a Brooklyn building. The suit said the defendants signed a lease in 2017 along with an expansion lease in 2019. The 2017 lease had a 10-year term that expired in 2027. The 2019 lease had a 10-year term that expired in 2029. Per the deal, Marc agreed to be liable for any money owed by the LLCs. Listen, it's alleged when those two got together, Marc was in all of this tax debt, and then they got together and got married, and all of a sudden, all of his debt was paid. That's the story from the streets. But now Kenya Moore can't save him because she's not working over there at Roa at the minute. The suit said the defendants have remained in mounting default of the leases since 2022 before terminating operations and abandoning the premises by the beginning of 2024 and cutting off all performance under the contracts. Accordingly, at present, defendants owe hundreds of thousands of dollars in unpaid rents and default obligations, which continue to accrue, the suit read. The landlord sued Marc and the LLCs for his alleged breach of the deal. The lease agreement said the space was to be used as a restaurant. Per the lease, the LLCs were to pay $6,500 per month in rent for the first year, and it would grow every year. I wouldn't even sign a lease like that. Marc owned a Brooklyn restaurant named Soko, on which announced it was closing down in December 2024. The social media page announced the news, writing, "It is with full heart that I announce the closure of Soko. After 15 years of serving our wonderful community, it is time for me to explore a new adventure in media. So I'll move onward and upward." The message was signed by MD. The restaurant was located on the same street as the property listed in the lease agreement. In October 2024, the landlord served Marc with the legal papers at Soko. The landlord's lawyers say he personally served Marc at the restaurant. Now, listen, that's one way to find somebody, and that's dirty. He said he asked an employee for Marc, who went to get him from the kitchen. He was approximately 5 feet, 5 inches, approximately 50 years of age, the attorney wrote. In a separate filing, the landlord demanded $210,115 on the 2017 lease and $238,197 on the 2019 lease, for a grand total of a little under $500,000. Their lawyer explained, in and after 2022, defendants fell into mounting arrears of their rent obligations to plaintiff, then abruptly abandoned the lease premises in early 2024 and cut off communications with the landlord. Listen, you can ignore a bill. That don't mean you don't still owe the bill. Around the same time, Marc and the LLCs filed a response and denied all allegations of wrongdoing. It's a nice jumpsuit. The defendants argued the claims were barred by the statute of limitations. In addition, they said the landlord's lawsuit should be dismissed in whole or part for failure to state a claim upon which relief may be granted. Marc and the defendants claimed the landlord was able to release, one of the premieres after they vacated. Marc claimed, they probably meant to put properties there. Marc claimed he had informed the landlord's agent in late 2023 of his plans to vacate. A hearing has been set for June in the matter. Kenya wed Marc in June 2017 and share a daughter named Brooklyn. Oh, it's funny. They wedded in 2017, and in 2017 is when he signed some of those leases. And the duo split in September 2019, and a bitter divorce battle erupted. As an In Touch First reported, per the divorce settlement, Kenya was awarded primary custody of their daughter, and each was awarded joint legal custody. Marc agreed to pay Kenya $2,000 per month in child support, despite her being a higher earner. Marc's in trouble. Now, the property that they already released, I don't see how legally they can keep charging him for the lease he signed if they already released one of the properties. But if the other property has not been released out, he's in trouble regarding that. But either way, for the time period you were there, you owe that rent money. And listen, shout out to the lawyer. You want to get somebody, you get them where they're working at, and they probably guarantee to be there. So he served, so he knows that Marc definitely got the lawsuit paperwork because he said he served them himself. Listen, guys, chat with me in the comments, and when I get an opportunity, I will chat back. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. If you are a subscriber, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts. I think Marc, from the day Kenya met him, he was bad with money. Because I promise you, there was a story out there that he was owed taxes. He owed all of this stuff, and he got with Kenya. Then all of a sudden, all his bills was cleaned up, and it was cleaned up only for him to get right back in the hole again. So he's just bad with money. Listen, guys, chat with me. I'll chat back. Hit that like button. Let me know your thoughts on this story, and I'll see you on the next video.